Ali, we talked about the importance of checking your blood pressure and the stresses of being a business owner, etc., etc. Because we're the last people to check up on ourselves, and hopefully, as peers, we can check up on each other. But I'm just interested to know what things you've been doing from a well-being, mental health, you know, uh, perspective. What kind of routines are you doing? I've learned.
Well, I think for me, I invested in a really interesting course around the quality of mind during lockdown. And that was really insightful, helping me to understand that our thinking influences how we feel.
Right. Was this an online course or?
It was a paid for course that it was remote
Mm.
rather than online. So it was in person, but it was a remote course, normally done in person. But the one I did was remote because it was in lockdown. And that was really insightful because it highlighted to me that we feel what we think, and actually we can change how we think,
Okay.
even at times we don't feel like that's the case. And a realization is that when we are present and we're aware of the here and now and we're calm, we are able to see the world more clearly for what it really is.
Mhm.
When we're at a point of stress, we're thinking all these things, we're spinning all these plates, we're worrying about all these to-do lists and all the things we're not getting to and all the things we should be getting to. And that creates a space where we become more blinkered on what's actually going on around us and tenses us up. And that thinking causes us to feel more stressed.
Mm.
And that goes on and it goes on, and we feed it and we feed it and we think more about it and we ask ourselves why and we wonder how to fix it. And all we're doing is kind of stirring the muddy water, and it causes the thinking to continue.
Mm.
And that thinking continuing can get us to a point of stress, depression, anxiety, and understanding that has really helped. It doesn't solve it. It doesn't mean to say I don't get in those points.
Yeah.
But when I am feeling stressed, and I'm much more aware now of when my thinking is overanalyzing, is spending too much time in a certain space, and I'm down the elevator, as they say. So I'm on the bottom floor. I can't see things as clear as it is. And the realization at that point is just to kind of let it be. Don't worry about fixing it and solving it, because that is how our mental health works, and it will come through the other side eventually. But if we keep feeding it and we keep stressing about it and we keep thinking about it and we keep wondering why and how to fix it, we're prolonging it.
I've been through it before. It's just a spiral down.
Mm-hmm.
until you kind of hit rock bottom with nowhere to go. It's like, okay, I need to do something about it.
That's right.
But sometimes you get so fixated, you
get so fixated. Yeah. So I definitely find myself less spiraling down. I spiral a bit and I can catch myself now. I'm aware of it, and then it's just trying to, okay, this is where I'm at right now. It will pass, and sometimes it takes a while, but it does pass. And just understanding that intellectually is quite useful.
Yeah, I've been through counselling kind of three times. And the first time I went all the way down before I kind of went, oh, I need to do this. But you mentioned catching it. So the second time round, I felt, oh, I remember this feeling, and I'm going through some things. I need to, and I caught it earlier. Went through to counselling, and then the third time it was like, I kind of knew how to do it before I even started kind of getting deeper into it.
It's a shame we have to kind of hit rock bottom sometimes to realize what's going on. I think also there are things we can do that help as well. I think we do need to look after ourselves, and as we've highlighted as business owners, often we get so fixated on keeping the plate spinning, and we've got family lives and other things going on. It can be hard to fit time in. I'm not brilliant at physical exercise, but I do my bit.
I was just about to say, a lot of people would have said, oh, the best thing you can do is exercise, go out there. But then you started with kind of exercising the mind.
Yes.
As a way of actually then filtering out to actions and different things, as opposed to, oh, we just need more physical exercise for our health.
I think different things work for different people. And we now know that yes, of course, we need physical exercise. Yes, we know we need to be doing weights and weight training, but we can't all fit that in. So for me, as a priority, meditation definitely helps. So I start my day with 10 to 15-minute meditation. And at the time, it's a nice thing to wake up and do. doing that consistently over a number of days, a number of weeks,
Yeah.
I definitely feel a massive difference
Okay.
in catching
Yeah.
that downward spiral further up the spiral and not getting further down it, because I feel the meditation allows us to be present and to realize our thinking and to understand how we're feeling because of that thinking, and actually just taking a moment to focus on the breath stops all that thinking happening.
Yeah, I've been working with Tracy Howes just to try and work on my breath work. Although over the last few weeks, same old excuse of not enough time. Not enough time just to breathe for a few minutes. But it's interesting that just been having that self-control and just to slow your breath down. And it's not about some kind of magic Zen kind of state of unconsciousness or whatever, but it is just a few minutes to yourself.
Absolutely. And sometimes when I'm meditating, that 10-15 minutes goes by and I'm just thinking about loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And it can be really easy to then beat myself up about that. What a waste of a meditation. But then we're falling into the trap of feeding it. So, okay, that's all it was. That's fine. Tomorrow it will be different and we move on with our day. And that's okay.
Yeah. Now that meditation, you don't have to be all yoga, half lotus, full lotus position.
No,
you can just sit down.
Can't do that. I can cross my legs, but I can't do half lotus.
So you can cross your legs or sit down on a cushion or even sit on a sofa, but just relax in a not too stiff a position, but just still. And you don't have to it's not about emptying the mind, because the more you try to empty your mind, you're just
thinking about emptying your mind. There's really no rules, and I think as soon as you sort of start following people and they start telling you how to do these things properly and have a straight back and do the full lotus and all of that, in all reality, none of that matters. All it is doing is about stopping.
Yeah.
And the reason we talk about breathing is because it's a way of us focusing on ourselves whilst not thinking about all those things that we could be thinking about. So whilst we're focusing on our breath, we can only think of one thing at a time. It's impossible to think of more than one thing at a time. So if we're thinking about our breath and following our breath, we can't be thinking of all those other things. Yeah. And really to do that for 5 minutes is a really healthy way of just helping.
Yeah, it's just that kind of deeper breathing, because sometimes when you're working hard, head down, all you do is just short breaths, and that, it's not helpful. It doesn't give you that calm. It doesn't give you enough oxygen.
No.
Yeah, and it is, and that tension kind of builds up with that short breath. So sometimes just deep breaths, slow, and then actually you just feel different. Really.
Well, I have also found, again, whilst there's no rules to meditating, how my posture has improved through meditating. So sometimes I find it quite uncomfortable, but other times I can now sit 15 minutes relaxed, fairly upright. I'm not in full lotus, but I do have my legs crossed, and that's actually quite nice to see that as well. I've not set out to do that, but it's certainly doing it consistently over a period of time is definitely a knock-on effect. So actually my whole body posture is better now. My breathing is better now, and having that space to stop all the thinking helps in the long run too.
When I've been taking, when I check my blood pressure, it's always really high first thing in the morning. But I think that's because my body needs to just get into action and be able to move. And I found that if at night time, if I just turn off all electronics, maybe even the TV as well, sit on the floor on my yoga mat or cushion or whatever, and just play music when I get my vinyl out, CDs, whatever, and just have half an hour of it, it actually goes so much lower. It doesn't go low, but it's like, well, that is a big difference.
Yes.
But in a way, it's similar to just having some time to yourself, sitting down and breathing. But with me, listening to music and just enjoying enjoying the music of old CDs I haven't heard for a while, that in itself really can bring my blood pressure down.
Yes. Well, I'm intrigued to see the data. As you say, maybe when I first wake up in the morning, after I've done a meditation, if I do exercise or stretches, what that might look like after that. Lunchtime, in a way, it'd be quite interesting to see how my blood pressure changes over a day. And interesting to find out, are there triggers that make me have a higher blood pressure and a lower blood pressure?
Well, I've got a spreadsheet that I've made that it'll help you, log your morning ones, your evening ones. Because if you ever go to the GP and it's all high, they'll just go, "Oh, it's probably high because you've rushed here. Can you go away and do a week's readings?" And you go, "I'm not going to do a week's readings." But hopefully, if everyone gets one of these for the kitchen or work office or whatever, then take one home. I've got a spreadsheet. Just take morning and evening, and then over the course of 7 days, 10 days, the spreadsheet will just give you an average, and you can see actually it's always higher in the morning because I need to get going, but actually overall between the two halves, it's fine.
Yeah, interesting difference between a weekday and a weekend as well.
The things you'd be out with the kids and stuff, wouldn't you?
I'd be out with the kids. So it'd be interesting to see what role the children have in the blood pressure. That'll be another interesting one. Bedtime routines, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Ali, for
No
sharing
worries.
some of your routines. It's
My
really
pleasure.
interesting to see what people do, but it's the discipline to do it is so important and hard as well.
Absolutely. And we can easily beat ourselves up about all the things we're not doing. So I think we've got to give ourselves a break. And as business owners and anyone watching this, but the thing we can do is check ourselves and measure ourselves and just make sure we're doing okay.
Right. Thank you, Ali.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.